Everyone in the motor pool laughed when she walked in, dust on her boots, hair tied back, uniform plain and without any visible rank. To them, she was just another nobody assigned to sweep floors and sign papers. But when the colonel barked at her in front of everyone, demanding to know why she was in his area, she only said 4 quiet words that froze the entire room. "Permission to speak, sir." No one knew that the woman they'd been ignoring, mocking, and shoving aside held a rank higher than every single person in that building. And the moment her real identity came out, every voice in that motor pool went silent. The morning heat shimmered off the motor pool yard as soldiers worked, joked, and shouted orders at one another. Engines roared, tools clanged, and the usual chaos filled the air. No one noticed the woman slowly approaching through the dust. Her uniform was standard issue, sleeves rolled, boots worn in places that suggested she'd seen far more than maintenance duty. But there were no ribbons, no patches, no rank, nothing to indicate who she was. Just a name, Reynolds. To everyone there, she was simply the new girl. Private Harris nudged his friend and laughed. "Must be the replacement admin looks too quiet to survive a day here." Others smirked as she walked past them, carrying nothing but a small binder. She didn't correct their assumptions. She didn't comment when 2 sergeants told her to move crates. She didn't flinch when someone muttered, "Another babysitting headache." She followed orders silently, calmly, without complaint. But deep inside, she remembered why she was here, and what she came to observe. Across the yard, the motor pool commander, Colonel Briggs, barked instructions to his staff. He was known for discipline, loud authority, and zero patience for mistakes. When he finally noticed her, his voice cut through the air like a blade. "You there," he snapped. "Who authorized you to step into my pool unsupervised?" Dozens of heads turned. Reynolds remained still. Briggs marched toward her, eyes blazing. "Speak up, soldier. What's your assignment? Where's your rank? Who is your commanding officer?" She opened her binder but he slapped it shut. "No paperwork. Use your mouth." The soldiers waited, snickering quietly. She inhaled slowly, her expression unchanged. "Permission to speak, sir." Briggs scoffed. "Just answer the question." Her voice remained steady. "Sir. I'm here for a scheduled inspection." Harris whispered to his friend, "Inspection? Of what, the brooms?" Briggs shook his head in disbelief. "You? Inspection? Don't play games with me." She didn't argue. Instead, she reached into her binder again, slowly, and pulled out a sealed document with an embossed emblem, one only high command carried. Briggs snatched it with annoyance. And then his face drained of color. He read the first line twice. Then a third time. And his hands began to tremble. Reynolds stood silently as every soldier stared, confused. Because the document clearly stated, "Authorized access, Brigadier General Elise Reynolds." A full minute passed before anyone breathed. Briggs looked up, voice cracking. "Gee, General, why are you dressed like that? Why didn't you?" She gently took the papers back. "Because, Colonel," she said softly, "a leader needs to know how her soldiers act when no one is watching." The entire motor pool fell into stunned silence. Whispers rippled through the crowd. "A general? She was carrying crates. We talked down to her. Who treated her like a nobody?" Everyone suddenly remembered every command they'd shouted at her, every joke, every impatient remark. Their confidence crumbled into guilt. The colonel straightened his posture, shaking, unsure whether to salute or apologize first. "General Reynolds. Ma'am, we were not informed." "That was the point," she said gently. She walked toward a Humvee undergoing repairs and placed her hand on the warm hood, feeling the engine vibrations. "I chose to come unannounced. I wanted to see the truth, not the version people show a high-ranking officer." Her eyes swept across the soldiers. "Some of you treated me with respect." Her gaze shifted. And some of you did not. A heavy silence wrapped around the yard. A young specialist stepped forward, voice trembling. Ma'am. I told you to lift those boxes. I didn't know. I'm sorry. She nodded. It's not about knowing my rank. It's about how you treat someone you think is beneath you. The soldiers lowered their eyes. You see, she continued, her tone firm but calm, leadership is not built on shouting orders or wearing pretty patches. It's built on character. On empathy. On doing what's right when there's no reward. Colonel Briggs swallowed hard, shame thick in his voice. General Reynolds, this motor pool has its faults, but we can do better. I can do better. She stepped closer, lowering her voice so only he could hear. Then start today, Colonel. Because the military doesn't fall apart from enemy fire, it falls apart when respect disappears among its own. A few soldiers nodded, tears in their eyes. Reynolds looked around the yard one last time. Her expression softened. You all have strong hands, sharp minds, and dedication. I saw that even in your mistakes. I didn't come to punish anyone. I came to remind you of something simple. She paused. A soldier is a soldier. Rank or no rank. Treat every person with dignity. The weight of her words settled over them. Then she closed her binder, saluted quietly, and turned to leave. No one mocked her walk this time. No one snickered. No one doubted who she was. They stood straighter, prouder, changed. And as she left the motor pool, even the toughest mechanics whispered to each other. She wasn't just a general. She was the kind of leader we needed.